Hello, it's good to have you join us again. It's your favorite show. This is Close Flow coming to you from your favorite channel. This is your reach out channel, and we are very sure, very certain that we always reach out to the entire globe, to the entire world, particularly when we are having distinguished Nigerians and the guests, as our guests in the studio, to speak on certain issues concerning the narrative about Nigeria. Now, today we are not going to slack. We are actually going to raise the banner a bit to see how Nigerians can be part of this solution seeking, because we are saying that yes, it's a great country. It's a giant of the giant in Africa, or the giant of Africa. But there are so many issues apparently or seemingly holding Nigeria down, particularly administratively. So Nigerians are asking or saying or demanding or asking, so why can't this country be one of the best nations on the face of the earth? Why can't we actually begin to look at all the things concerning what we are doing in government, in governance, in citizenship, in leadership, and how all these efforts can now be properly managed, can be intelligently managed, can be, in a way, data qualified, that we can say to ourselves, okay, so if 20% can do it right, then the remaining 80% can join in and form a mass movement. But if 80% is getting it wrong, then 20% cannot get it right. So these are some of the issues that we have invited our distinguished guests, a former president of the Chartered Institute of Administrators or Administration, also an ophthalmologist, so he has a keen vision of what it is that we are doing wrongly or correctly as a nation. And so we are also saying to him that also he's a mentor, a sportsman, is somebody who says, okay, look, it is not just about living, it's about living actively. I don't know so much about him. You get to meet him, and then yes, you get to meet him when I introduce him to you. Then the conversation, you take your paper, you take your pencil, you take your biro, so you can then join the conversation, ask him your own questions, disagree with him if you want to, but be sure that what you're disagreeing with, you are doing it intelligently and coherently. Now, also, we are inviting you to join us. We are with us in the studio. Well, I will call him the name that many of you may not know. That is Dr. Abimbola Oshoba. You're welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you so much. Good morning, viewers.
All right.
It's good to be here.
Again. Yes. It's a delight to have him with us because he speaks intelligently and, of course, critically and sometimes passionately about what the Nigerian situation is. So, Doctor, you're welcome to the program again.
Thank you so much.
And let's just start from the get-go, from the word go, from the, if you are, let's borrow your brain again. Clinically, let's look at Nigeria today. Let's look at Nigeria 20 years back. Let's look at Nigeria 20 years forward. What do you see?
I thank you very much for this question. At independence and in the early 60s, Nigeria, we were actually doing well economically, socially, and in many respects than the Asian tigers.
Than the Asian tigers.
But today, they have overtaken us. So the question is, why are we still a potentially great nation? Why is it that we have not yet moved from potential to actual, to performance, and to achieving our goals and dreams as enshrined in our Constitution and in the minds of every Nigerian? The truth is that we have a good Constitution, we have good policies from the political elites and the ruling class,
yes,
and the parties. But the greatest problem now we have is turning those policies into actionable programs. After turning them into actionable programs, monitoring them, implementing them, tracking them, having key performance indices, ensuring that every Nigerian knows about what is going on. The role of the media is very critical
in this.
Because, again, the government makes a policy we want to improve the power supply sector.
Yes.
And $16 billion was spent. The question is, from that time, were we monitoring it closely? Were we tracking it? How the money was spent? What has happened to it? Were we naming and shaming those who are involved in this project? Did we make sure that every Nigerian became a participant in how this money belonging to us is spent correctly? And have we participated, not just criticizing, in making sure that every local government, every state government, even the federal government is made accountable? So the key word here is accountability. And we need to train our population so that they can make sure that they hold the government accountable every time. And when there is a need to change, if they feel that the government has not done well, then they should make the change. The other thing is that a change in government should not be a change in plans and programs. Plans that have been settled, that have been agreed upon,
yes,
irrespective of whatever regime is there,
yes,
should be carried on.
And completed.
And completed. And one of the greatest problems we have is that we do not have who to blame. So we need to, from now on, if we say school abduction, who is in charge? If it's the national security advisor,
yes,
let's have his phone number, let's track him.
Yes.
When was this thing done? How far are we go? What is happening? If it's about food inflation, the Minister of Agriculture, who is in charge of it? Let's have his phone number. Let's track it. Let the nation monitor. Let journalists, especially,
yes,
developmental journalists,
yes,
let them track it. Let us post the outcome daily, so that as you name and shame, people will change.
Wake up.
And then most of the time, even for poor performance, there's no consequence.
There's no KPI.
There's no, yes. So there must be consequences. We need to promote and say, oh, this teacher has done well, let us promote because of this that he has done. But in Nigeria, when somebody is appointed minister, people from his village will come and meet him in his house and say, now our national cake has come. If we continue in that culture and tradition, surely that is not the way to go. We need to take a roundabout and face the future, believe in our country because this is the only one we've got, and making it work for us.
Thank you very much for that, ophthalmologist. Now, let's quickly borrow again from your vision, your eyesight. Now, in eye care, delayed diagnosis can result in irreversible blindness. Delayed diagnosis. So, do you think that is Nigeria's problem? You think we have wasted too much time, like you have just said, analytically diagnosing what is wrong with us, and now we are almost blindfolded? Is that the situation?
Well, truth also is that we have a very vibrant press.
Yes.
We have made a diagnosis. We have even preferred solutions.
Yes.
The solutions are in different reports, electoral reforms, this and that, different national plans.
Yes.
They're all good. But the question now is that once you now have these good policies, the next most important thing is implementation.
Yes.
So who implements is the administrator. So the reason why we are having administration and poor outcomes is because we don't have seasoned and trained administrators to execute the policies. Again, in other countries, the Asian tigers, what do? They get their best brains,
yes,
they train them, and they put them in the civil service and in industry. Even when an industry is there, okay, say you are Innocent Motors. Okay, we want to make Innocent Motors our brand for Nigeria.
Yes, yes.
So if we give you all the money, the borrowings, how will you make sure that in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, 70% of all cars on Nigerian roads will be innocent?
Yes.
So the issue is that we must support industry. We must ensure that our people do well in whatever they do, and we must monitor. That is the job of the citizens, and the citizen can only monitor If the press and the public is made known what is being done, how much has been voted, and then the journalists will now track. We need to begin to have now a dashboard index of performance, daily performance. If we can have a dashboard track record to say, oh, this is what you promised.
And this is what you have done.
This is what we have done. This is the performance. After 3 quarters, you cannot meet 50%, then you should be removed. And then the other problem we have is, like the police now, they give us phone numbers of DPO and so on to call if there's crime.
Yeah.
So also, for all the projects that we are doing, let us have the phone number of the person responsible. If people have been kidnapped, who is the person, where the local government chairman, who is the location, of that location, who is the chief security officer in that place? Let's have the phone number. Let's be able to monitor, because whatever you do not measure will surely not likely succeed or achieve its goals and objectives.
I like that again, because accountability, you have just stated now that, so if we are not accountable, now if there are no KPIs governing, then not just the administrator, but even from leaders to followers, that means we can't find solutions. That means we'll keep remaining, as potentials. We are just we are potentially rich. We are potential. Is that what you are saying?
This is exactly the point. Irrespective of whatever political party is in office,
yes,
they come with their manifestos. They come with policies. But no matter the policy they come with, somebody must implement it. So we must have trained, seasoned, competent administrators, trained to implement and execute the projects. And with execution, there must be monitoring by the populace, and there must be tracking, there must be KPIs, there must be daily, weekly dashboard, so that we know whether the person is doing well or not. For example, JAM, the former registrar, we were able to measure his performance. So that's the kind of thing we should begin to do in Nigeria. When people do well, let's give them carrots, and when they do not, let's give them the stick and boot them out.
Or give them Indomie. No, but seriously, Doctor.
Yes.
So how can public and private partnership, be better managed in Nigeria? Because now you have tabled it. So if they are well trained, you as a chartered administrator, so you have worked so far and so largely with private sector. But how can we now integrate the excellence in the private sector with the desired excellence in public sector?
So it starts with, when we talk about administration,
yes,
it's a teamwork. Administration is, first of all, determining what we want to do. That is the vision.
Yes.
Then we have a mission statement. Then we now have decision making and staffing. So we usually get it wrong from the staffing. Look at the CBN. When the current CBN governor came in, it was overstaffed, but people were not doing anything. So when you have such a situation like that, the nation will always be a potential and will not be able to achieve its goals and objectives. So we need to get our best brains and best minds and train them very well to man and train them in administration, so that they man the posts and we pay them well. The most important thing that we need to do is education. We need to spend at least 20 to 25% of our budget in education, because if you don't train them, blame them. Don't blame them. Now, the issue of banditry and so on,
yes,
you can imagine that if these guys, if they have been trained very well about nation building, about the love of the nation, and they have imbibed it, there's no way they are going to go into this banditry just because they want to have money. Even if you have all the money in this world, anyway, you are not going to take 1 naira to anywhere in this, when you die.
Yes.
You're going to leave it here. And we have seen so many billionaires and trillionaires and whatever, whether in dollars or whatever. No, none of them took. And so some of them, when they die, their estates, even the people that are surviving them, cannot manage the estate. So here, we should develop love for one another, love for our country, and to make sure that Nigeria is great. We're great people. God has given us intelligence, knowledge, everything. important thing now is to add integrity to it and to have a good value system to say, I'm a Nigerian, I'm the best, I must make it work. It is my duty and responsibility. It is not the duty of that other person, it is my duty to make it work. And anywhere we are, like Indira Gandhi proposed, we should be the change that we want to be.
That we want to see.
That we want to see in the world. And therefore, if all of us decide to be the best in what we do, then Nigeria will improve, and all these issues that we have of poverty, insecurity, and so on will eventually be so abysmally low and will not be a public concern.
Okay, well, that is, I want to thank you again for that again. That is quite deep. But that is now raising the issue of, so what value do you think in Nigeria, politics or governance will be adding to the lives of Nigeria? Can you begin to tell us what values either politics or governance or government or policy, formulation should add to the lives of Nigerians for them to say to ourselves, yes, I am responsible for the best that can happen to my country?
I thank you very much for this question. As a physician, I can say, when a child is born, it's like a clean slate. Whatever you write on it, that is what it becomes. So,
please say that again. When a child
is born,
yes,
it's like a clean slate. So what the child becomes in the future is what we write on it. Therefore, if we want Nigeria to be great, we must start today. When a child is born today,
yes,
let us ensure that the child has good health care. He can feed well, number one. Number two, the child must be encouraged to have good education at home. The people who become bandits, they are indoctrinated from childhood. They are indoctrinated from childhood. So we have to ensure that in the first 18 years, our national ethos is taught, and our children learn about industry, about administration, about science, about nation building, and about self-discipline, about commitment to the nation. So if they have spent the first 18 years of their life learning that, then after 18 years, they can go into religion and other things. But when you, from the beginning, indoctrinate them with some difficult religions that is hardliner, then it's a big problem. Such ones are very, very easy to recruit into banditry, and they see human life as nothing because they have been so indoctrinated. So the key factor is education. And then we also make sure that even the education starts from the home.
Yes.
And then when they get to the school, the teachers need to be paid well. Many other parts of the world, teachers are paid better than even civil lawyers and all that, because their job is invaluable. And then once that is done, we also need to have a change of heart. We have the National Youth Service Corps. We need to make military service compulsory for anybody who is 18 and above in this country.
As a part of the NYSC project.
As a part of the NYSC project, because now we're having insecurity, because the person who is coming knows that I don't know how to shoot a gun, and then, but if in every community we have people who are trained to handle guns, or who are trained in the art of self-defense and community defense, then insecurity will become reduced.
Okay, all right. That is how brilliant it can be, and that's why I told you he's very passionate. Besides the fact that he's an ophthalmologist, he is also demonstrably a very, very deep, administrator. So he's saying to us that let's elevate Nigeria to the point where even NYSC can actually determine if we can have insecurity or not. Thank you for the journey so far. We'll take a break, and when we come back, of course, I've told you, go get your paper, go get your barrel, and take down the number so that you can call and join the conversation and ask a doctor what he sees that maybe you are also seeing, and he's not seeing it the way you're seeing it. So you can ask him to give you his own opinion on how we can make Nigeria one of the best nations on the face of the earth. Stay with us. We shall be back.
It is my pleasure to inform you that NTT Lagos Network Center is now on terrestrial transmission. To get this started from the comfort of your home, I'll be your guide. Step 1. Mount a Yagi outdoor antenna recommended for best reception in rural areas. Step 2. Connect the antenna to your television's RF port using an RF connector. Step 3. Go to the settings menu and select channel scan to auto scan to scan for available digital channels. NTA2 is on your UHF channel 29. Step 4. You can optimize and fine-tune by adjusting the position of your antenna for clearer signal. Voila! You see how easy it is to connect to NTA2 your reach out station on terrestrial transmission. I am IT Obot Njezi. See you on the terrestrial platform.
Welcome to Lagos.
To relax, entertain you, and give you the best videos ever.
Around Lagos and the environment.
On the network service of the my name is Ifeoma Odumba.
The Great Nigeria Insurance House.
I am Adejoke Odeka.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have Dr. Oshoba in-house. Actually, he's doctoral. It's not just about being an eye physician. He's also a very versatile administrator. Now, a doctor, as a former president of the Chartered Institute of Administration. Now, do you think that Nigeria's challenge is more political than administrative? Do you think it's the politicking aspect of the way we manage the country than the administrative content in what we are doing that is the challenge in Nigeria?
I thank you very much for that question. But it's just like asking the question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The truth about it is that politics and administration are interwoven. The politician decides what his manifesto is, his agenda is.
Yes.
It is based on that is given a mandate to lead the people. And the Constitution empowers the president to appoint people to help him to achieve the manifesto that he has stated. So we now have the policy making, then we now have the agenda setting,
yes,
and then the implementation. But the implementation of the policy is done by the administrator. That is why you see that when you talk about whatever in Nigeria, still, according to the Constitution of Nigeria, it is the permanent secretary, yes, that is the accounting officer.
Yes, the principal.
Yes, is the accounting officer. So, no matter what policy you put in place, you have to carry the permanent secretary along. Again, because the minister or whoever political officer can go tomorrow, but the
secretary
or the administrative remains. So the question is, it is the duty of the administrator to translate those manifesto into actionable programs.
Yes.
So we want to build roads, we want to build rails. When? Where are we going to do the manual? Who is going to do it? How? When will it be done? At what time? What are the KPIs? How do we know that we are making progress? What should be the duration of time? How much money has been spent on it? And the fund that was meant for it, has it been diverted? Was it used for that project? How much of it have we gotten? So in the situation, we now see that the administrator now comes in terms of implementation. Now, the question now is, even when the administrator also comes in,
yes.
Now it is the duty of the citizens now to ensure that they are alive to their responsibility. Now, these things must be published. Monitoring is by the citizens. And then the work of the journalist is to create a dashboard to say, between the policy and the implementation, these are the gaps. So those who do well, they are given an applause, and those who have not done well,
Yes.
they are reminded that they have not done well. And actually, if we want this country to function, this has been done before. All the ministers, they sign undertakings.
Yes.
But it should also be done so publicly that they should have the KPIs. So if you are Minister of Power, okay, our generating capacity is this. If in 6 months, I cannot increase it by 1 mega unit or 2 mega units in 9 months, by 1 year,
I should leave.
I should leave. And then once we put that as a KPI, it just happens automatically. And then we have people that are more competent and more focused that can do this. The other issue
yes.
that we really have in this country, which I see as a big problem, is that Nigeria is 400 nations in one. We have 400 ethnic nationalities.
400 nations in one.
And we have like 800 languages. So how do you coordinate? These people have cultural differences. That was why the First Republic was able to succeed relatively.
Yeah.
Because each region had its own constitution,
Yes.
has its own way of life, and was allowed to achieve.
Manage, yes.
So now that we have 6 geopolitical regions, my proposal is that we should have 6 regional governments with their own constitution.
Yes.
And then the governors can then rotate the leadership among themselves, and then we now have the Southeast Development Commission and so on. We can use this as a template to actually develop.
Off, yes.
And then everybody now wants to be president. If you make this then the rat race to become president, whether do or die, as President Brother said, will not be there again, because then you will go to your region and develop your region. And the most important thing we should also realize is that the most important aspect in our country today is the CDA, Community Development Associations.
Yes.
They should be very strong. They should work closely with the chairman of the local government. The budget of the local government should be published. The local government should hold town hall meetings with the CDAs to know their needs. When the local government is funded, let's see how much funds goes there, how much is going to each CDA, and what projects have been done.
Yes.
So the CDA and the people can monitor, and then we can have dashboard publishing by the media.
Yes.
So that periodically we now benchmark
What has been done.
what has been done.
Okay, so what you are saying therefore is that continuity in governance may no longer be sacrificed on the altar of politics if we have this kind of disposition. Now, but moving forward, now you have given us an idea of what we were like 20 years ago. So if you look at 2030 now, if we cannot regionalize, as you have suggested, if you cannot now say, okay, you have geopolitical, so are you saying that now the struggle for the presidential race will overtake everything again, and therefore Nigeria will no longer be able to move forward?
The truth is that for a multi-ethnic society like Nigeria, it has been before the Nigerian constitution, before our independence.
Yes.
We had so many meetings in London, commissions and so on, and it was decided that the best form of government for a multi-ethnic nation is federalism.
Yes.
And if you want to see what is happening in the United States of America, California State, for instance,
yes.
California State, they are probably the richest state, even almost richer than every other person.
Yes.
They have their own rules,
Constitution,
and so on. So we have true federalism operating there. Until we begin to have true federalism operating in Nigeria, so the potential will still be there, and to really get to the action is difficult. The reason is that, for example, President Goodluck Jonathan tried to do the Almajiri school in the north.
Yes.
But is it working? Because of culture and tradition. So when we talk about maternal mortality rates,
for instance,
when we talk about illiteracy and so on,
yes.
the problem is basically mainly in the northern part of the country.
Yes.
So there is political differentiation in what happens to us. So in that case, we find out that, the National Party of Nigeria then, they had a slogan, one nation, one destiny.
Yes.
We need to go to that, one nation, one destiny. Yes. But the truth is that, so some states now say we are doing Sharia, others are saying we are not.
Yes.
The truth is that we are one nation with many destinies.
The way we are right now.
With the way we are right now. So we really need to come back and really ask ourselves, what are our core issues nationally? And then let us also allow the different nations that make this country to also express themselves. Because, for example, I come from the Southwest. Our way of life, our culture, I've been to all parts of Nigeria. It's different. All of us are similar in one way or the other.
Yeah.
So for us to say one cap fits all, it will not work for us. We must make sure that whatever we are doing, we tailor it to meet the needs of the people and their yearnings, and in that case, we'll have a very great region. Because a nation. Because at that time, we were having the pyramids of granite in the north.
Yes.
We were having oil palm in the south.
Yes.
And we were having cocoa. Yes. And we built cocoa house with cocoa money, with agriculture.
Yes.
So every region was allowed to develop at its own pace. But now, when the military came, they unified. And that really became a problem. You see, what belongs to all of us belongs to nobody.
In real time.
In real times.
Okay. So in that sense, so is corruption primarily a moral problem, or do you see it as administrative?
Thank you so very much.
When the military came, so they unified the entire administrative procedure. So is corruption now, therefore, a moral issue, or do you think it's administrative?
I thank you so much for this corruption. When we want to define corruption, it's something that is an anomaly. That's something that is against the ethics, something that is against the right thing to do. And corruption means that people are, there is a kind of favoritism, undeserved favor, undeserved merit. And that was what I mentioned, that as long as you want to admit somebody into the university and the score for somebody from the Southwest is X and that of the North is this, that is corruption. Again, what is corruption? Corruption is knowing that the cost of a project is X amount, you times it by 10 and you present it, and nobody is monitoring it.
Nobody's querying it.
Nobody is querying it. You remember the story of MENA and the pension fund? Yeah. That was glaring corruption. Thank God that today many more people are being convicted for corruption. But you also recall that the former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, when the DSS went to his place to arrest him, they did not allow, they say he's our man. But when he went to Britain, he was convicted. So again, corruption is something that is ingrained in the minds of the people. It depends on the way the people define it. Again, until when you have an egalitarian society where people are exposed to equity and equality, and nobody is disadvantaged based on religion, sex, ethnicity, as guaranteed in the fundamental human rights in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is only when that is done that you can end corruption or minimize it. Then again, what happens? We were talking about these KPIs, this monitoring. So everything is done in an opaque fashion. When things are done opaquely, you don't know the cost of the bribery, the cost of the project, who was it awarded to, how much has person received, how much work has been done. In the past, the same road contract will be awarded 10 times. So when you talk about corruption, it is both in politics and administration. In fact, it has been said that sometimes when the politician comes to the office, it is the administrators that are there that will teach him
what he needs to do.
what he needs to do.
Okay, so doctor, so what does concrete revolution truly mean in practical governance terms? Now that you have situated it for us, now we know that corruption can both be just a moral issue, but also an administrative, tenet. So when you say concrete revolution, in real terms, do you think that can overtake corruption?
I believe so, and that the answer is yes. It is true. So what is revolution? I will tell you, my own definition of revolution is love of self, love of the nation. If you love your nation, if you love your fellow countryman, money that is meant to build a healthcare facility,
for instance, primary care facility,
you are not going to embezzle it. You see a child suffering from malnutrition, and you go and buy the latest cars. You will not do that. A situation occurs in Nigeria where even the legislators, when they want to buy cars, let's buy made in Nigerian cars now, they prefer the foreign ones. That is corruption. That is not love of country. So, I will define that to eliminate this, we must do something. We must produce what we need locally, and we must buy what we need.
Again,
locally. And whatever industry or whatever that you are doing must have local content. No matter who is bringing a particular technology, there must be provision for a Nigerian to understand the technology and take over in 5 years or 10 years. That is revolution. Revolution is a thing of the mind, is a way of thinking, is thinking about how can I best be happy. I cannot be happy, for example, when school children are being kidnapped.
Yes.
When small children.
Yes.
So because I love my country, I feel hurt when that happens. But how did it come about? It is because of all these things. So the revolution is to love your country, to do what is right, and to ensure that we put policies in place that ensure that there is love of every Nigerian, and every Nigerian is protected by the constitutions, which says that the primary aim of government shall be security of life and property and welfare of the people. That is revolution. Because let us look at it. In Mali, in Senegal and so on, there was military takeover. In so many places there was revolution, but did the revolution really bring any country change? So sometimes revolution has to do with the mind. We have to change the mind, purify the mind, and let the mind be focused on what is good and directional. And let us have one purpose, love of our nation, and ensuring that under God we make our nation the best place in the world to be.
Okay, all right, that is another brilliant one. But you have said something initially about the fact that education should start from home, so that whatever the child itself is like a blank, so you need to write on that, So if education is starting from home, now are we investing properly, therefore, in that startup? Do you think, even as parents, even as citizens, not to talk of leaders, even as elites, are we investing properly in that startup, for instance?
Thank you very much. The answer is yes. But when we answer yes, then we have to talk about what is called equity and equality.
Exactly.
So in a situation where we have a single parent mother who is probably jobless, what is the hope of that child? Even where we have both parents earning minimum wage, not able to take care of the child, how can the child develop properly? So the Child Rights Act states very clearly that everybody, every institution should work to ensure that the best interest of the child is served.
It is there in the rights.
Yeah, yes,
in the law.
in the Child Rights Act,
Yes.
yes, which has been domesticated both nationally and most states of the Federation. So it's for us to ensure that this is implemented. The first thing is, even before the child is born, the mother must have good antenatal care, must have good food, must have access to income.
Proper health, yes.
And proper health care. When the child is going to be born, it's going to be born in a clean environment where the child is not at risk of death from infection. And then when the child is growing up, it requires breast milk for the first 6 months,
Yes.
and then good protein and nutritious food, and also immunization. As the child is growing and learning, from the parents, is learning positive things from the parents. Because let's face reality, children copy what we do and not what we say. So you can tell your child, this is what is right and so on, but the child will always copy what you do. So it starts from the parents doing the right things. And many parents are not doing the right things.
Now that brings up the issue of, so what investment are we actually putting into education? Just like I've said, if by example we are teaching the children the wrong thing, so what investment are we actually putting into education?
I thank you so very much. As I said, so Nigeria, we don't have a problem with policy. We have the UBEC now, Universal Basic Primary Education.
Yes.
But are we implementing it to what? So right now, what we need to do with UBEC is to start ranking the states and the local governments. And the ones that are doing well, we motivate them.
Yes.
And the ones that are not doing very well, we name and shame them so that they too can improve. So UBEC is there. Now, the federal government has also done what is called the technical education now, which is free. So every student who finishes that basic primary education can go to a technical college.
Okay.
And get skills. And that's what we need. Because we need tilers, we need plumbers, we need good electricians. So that is very important. And then those who have the intellectual capacity can go into polytechnics, into universities, and also learn about computer and AIs and how to make things better. So if we do this, and already the government is doing something about it, you have this NEL fund.
Yes.
So that no child will say, I can't go to school. And technical. I think that we have started the journey. I think that we should maintain it. I think what we should do is that all the 230 million Nigerians should monitor what is being done.
Yeah.
The journalists and all persons involved in development should track it. We should have a dashboard in which we publish daily and mention that, look, this is the best performing local government, this is the best performing governor in this area, and then I think sometimes it's done, and then we can, if we do that with steady improvement, then we can be able to achieve our goal of becoming one of the best. By 2030, we want to become one of the best 20 economies in the world. And we can grow our GDP, the president thinking of $1 trillion economy.
Yes.
If we put all these things together and we start work and we maintain it, and we don't do politics with this, because it doesn't matter which party is there. The most important thing is that things must be done to improve the lives of the people, and when the money of the people is spent for the people, there must be monitoring, there must be tracking, there must be KPIs. Those who are doing well should be given the kudos, and those who are not doing well should be shown the way out.
Okay, all right.
They should be given the books.
Now, when we were growing up, civic education was part of what we enjoyed from the primary school level. Now, do you think now that we can use civic education to rebuild national consciousness for today's Nigeria? You think it's possible? You think it's realistic or practicable?
The answer is yes. it is realistic and it is practicable. So I remember when I was in primary school,
Yes.
we had many subjects. We had languages, we had civics.
Yes.
So up to the JSS level, every child should be taught civic education, because you need to know about your community, about your society, and it is when you are well-grounded, then you will be able to know your personality. In fact, I can tell you that I had an issue. My first son, when he was growing up, he would just come there one day and say, look, I'm an American Nigerian. The guy was born in Lagos. Yeah.
So how did he get Americanized?
How did they get them? Because when they are in school with their peers, because the parents give a particular form of education, when they get to school, they get another form of education. So, and you know, the American media project America as the El Dorado, as it's played to be.
Yes.
As if, I've been to America a few times, you see many people sleeping on the streets.
Yes.
You have people living in worse conditions that we have. There's homelessness. Yes. There's everything that is there in Nigeria. That they tend to project their own country positively. So I think also the media in Nigeria, no matter what we do, we should not just bash our country. Let us project ourselves very well. Many of Nigerians who have traveled abroad have found out that east or west, home is best. In fact, anytime I go anywhere, I spend 1 week, I want to come back home. We're at the equator. We have a very good weather.
Yeah.
Everything that you are looking for, whether it's a game reserve, whether it's waterfall, whether it's, think about it. Nature has it in abundance here. And we have all the minerals, all the gold, and all the, even causing insecurity for us. So, I say, let us believe in this country, Nigeria. We have not started. Nigeria should overcome every country in the world and become
One of the best.
one of the best. Before, everybody was coming to Nigeria.
Yes.
We liberated South Africa.
Yes.
We trained the South Africans and
Yes.
so on. And so, everybody wanted to come to Lagos. There was no American or British citizen who came to Lagos or Nigeria who wanted to go back. So, the question is, we are now having Japa, but hopefully very soon we will have Japada.
Okay, now while we are waiting for Japada to happen, let's quickly look at now the fourth revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is on the cusp of moving around the world. Do you think Nigerian youths, that's the same Japa or the Japanomics elements that we see in our youths, do you think they are ready for that fourth industrial revolution that will take over the whole world? Do you think we are ready? Do you think we are prepared for it?
I'm actually proud of Nigerian youths, because when you look at the ranking worldwide, in Africa,
Yes.
we are leading.
Yes, right now.
Aha. Even when you go to America and other, in tech, we are leading.
Yes.
In every area, we are leading. And kudos to the Nigerian youths. We just need to make sure that we give them opportunity. I'm also happy that the president is doing such. You know, the current JAM registrar,
Yes,
39.
yes.
Younger people have been put there because Obafemi Awolowo, others and so on. They got into government. Even Obasanjo,
Yes.
what was his age?
Yes.
Gowon, what
Yes,
was his
yes,
age?
yes.
We need to give the youth a chance. And the youth are being empowered. The women are being empowered. By the time we do this, our youth, they have revolutionized, and we need to give them the chance. Look at Bosun Tijani. Look at what he's doing.
Yes.
So I think that we need to give more opportunities to the youth because they are ready. And without them, we cannot conquer with them the world. But with them, I know that surely Nigeria will be the destination for travel, just like to be the Dubai of the world. That is coming next is Nigeria.
Okay, all right. As we're looking at Nigeria as the next Dubai, so you are saying to us that technology can help to rebuild. Okay, but can we deploy technology to also deal with some of the issues we are looking at, like corruption, like insecurity, like maladministration? You think we can employ these same young Nigerians and the high-tech element to deal with those things?
I thank you so very much. So I can say for free that everything that we need to solve Nigeria's problem is already here. We are manufacturing drones in Nigeria. We are manufacturing military equipment.
Yes.
So what else do we need? So the question is, let us use what we have to get what we want. But what happens is that administratively and politically, because people get kickback or whatever from abroad, So anything they want to do, many times, they just want to take it abroad. And then when they put the contract in dollars, then the more money comes in. But we have people who can do it in Naira. And I'm happy that the Central Bank of Nigeria is actually making that effort to make sure that the payment platform and things in the big bank is being done and being developed by Nigerian super techs, and they are doing this and it's working.
Okay. Before we leave, let's give the Nigerians some takeaways, because our discussion has been that now, when we look at just takeaways, for instance, when we look at the universal health coverage, in terms of economic reference or economic relevance, do you think, again, Nigeria is averaging appropriately what we need to achieve to make sure that Nigerians are actually contributing, profitably to the development of this country?
Health-wise?
Yes.
Yes. So I can say, because I'm also in the health sector,
yes,
I can say that we have gone a long way. The government has provided MRIs, sophisticated equipment, diagnostic equipment, to at least all the regions in Nigeria. I can say that for free. I'm also aware that cancer treatment is being subsidized. I'm also aware that child nutrition and maternal health care is being improved. I'm also aware that the health centers, 774 health centers that are supposed to be developed,
yes,
we are scaling up on this one. We have not yet reached the target, but Dr. Mukhtar has been giving us updates on this, and I think that we are making gradual improvement in this aspect.
So there is a dashboard on that. So
there should be a dashboard on that. Also, in terms of training and retraining, we are getting our people getting trained. We are getting people coming from abroad coming to train us. And whatever technology is happening, some of them that are not here, we have people coming to the country to perform live surgeries and transfer technology. And I just think that we are better off in terms of the health minister, Dr. Pate, is actually trying, because I watch the programs regionally.
Yes.
They make sure that diagnostic equipments are there, cancer treatment equipments are there. We are not yet there.
But we're not there yet.
We are not there yet, but of course we can see the efforts being made by the government to ensure that we take gradual steps forward.
Okay, finally, because you are a medical person, you are also very concerned, you are very knowledgeable about emergencies. What sector in Nigeria do you think requires emergency attention right now? What sector?
The most important sector that requires attention in Nigeria today is security. And when I say security, I'm thinking of security of lives and person. I'm thinking about food security.
Yes.
I'm thinking of education security. And I'm thinking of health security. So the security is all encompassing. And we all have to be part of it. So, for example, the issue of physical security.
Yes.
We have been doing these things over and over. If we are not getting it right, let us change our methodology. Let us tweak it, because we can get it right. But the point is this insecurities is happening in mostly ungoverned spaces. So we had a school safety security program enacted 10 years ago.
Yes.
But there's no dashboard to say how many schools have built fences. The principals that are able to get the fences of their school built, let us give them kudos. Let us incentivize them. Let us motivate them. The ones that are not doing it, why are they not doing it? What can we do to make sure that they do it? So it starts from the local government, because these schools are in the local government regions.
Yes.
So if the local governments are being better funded, the local government should ensure that these schools have fence perimeter, because it is already in the government policy and it has to be well implemented. So also, good nutrition, vaccination for children is ongoing all over. We need to step it up. Again, conflicts, IDPs, internally displaced persons.
Yes.
There are very many. So we need to make sure that this does not happen. Even to people are leaving their places, people cannot go to farm, and therefore reducing our agricultural productivity.
And increasing food insecurity.
And increasing food. So again, we need to mobilize the people, empower them, make sure that these forest guards are within the people, train them, empower them, give them what they use, so that every on government's pay, every forest is guarded, and therefore, if we have this physical security, then we can begin to have food security. And when we have food security, there is more money, the food in the stomach, then we can have educational security and
National
economic
security. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Dr. Oshoba. It's been great having you again in the show. We always say that the conversation is never over on closed floor. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for your contribution. Well, he has tabled it, the takeaway for us that if we can overcome the insecurity, then we can actually have a secured nation. And he also advised us, let's have the love of the nation. If you love your nation, you will love yourself, you will love your neighbor, and then the nation can be one of the best in the world. Until next week, it is bye from us.